Good Wednesday morning. Today is January 15th, which means we are officially through the first 2 weeks of our 2025 Pantry Challenge. I'm doing $25 a week for the month of January in 2025 to try to reduce our overall yearly grocery budget down by 5% from $620 to $580 per month for a family of 5 here in Nova Scotia. Combining that with last week's leftovers, I have 20, 35, $39 to spend today. I don't have to spend it all, but honestly, I probably am going to. I do have a list and we'll see what is available. So I'm going to head into town today. Last week, I was able to just go into my local superstore and just pick up milk and cream. And I have a list and we'll see what they have available and I'll pick up a few things there. And I have a few other stops to make as well. So I'm headed in now. I'll be back in about an hour. We'll go over what I'm buying this week with my $25 budget plus my leftover from last week, which was $14. And then I'll take you through what we ate for the last 7 days on days 8 to 14. All right, wish me luck. Hopefully everything's in stock that's on my list. Okay, so I just got back from grocery shopping. This is everything I picked up today. So remember, my budget was $39. That includes $14 from last week, carryover, and my $25 budget for this week. So in order to make the very most of it, I was very intentional with what I bought. So I ended up stopping at Sobeys. I stopped at Gateway. And then I also picked up a flash food order. So at Sobeys, I decided to grab my milk there because I was in the store. So it was $7.19 for the milk. It is slightly cheaper at Circle K on Fridays. However, I've been buying one of these, 1 4-liter a week. It's up to the kids to make it last. And I didn't feel right making them wait until Friday. So I did pick it up today. So it was $7.19. I then picked up all these cheese slices, which we usually don't even go through this many. However, this is a really great deal they had. They have a craft deal right now. There's certain craft products that if you buy 5 participating products, and you can mix and match, this was just the best deal for us. If you buy 5 participating products, you get $10 back. So they had their craft singles on this week for $3.97 for the 410 gram packages. So I bought 5. I bought 3 of the original thin slice, 1 mozzarella, and 1 Swiss. So altogether, they came to $19.85 and then the $10 rebate. And it's an instant rebate on your, right on your order rate at the cash register. So for the 5 packages of cheese and the 4-liter of milk came to $17.04. Of course, there's no pennies and we were paying cash, so $17.05. I then went to Gateway, which is right across the street from Sobeys. I wanted a cabbage. Cabbages are so versatile and we're missing having green things. 3.2 pound cabbage at 97 cents a pound. It came to $3.10. Bananas are 77 cents a pound there. I think that's their everyday price. I used to see them come on sale once and again, but it has been a while and it's wintertime anyway. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. 9 bananas came to $2.10. I got 2 that were a little bit riper there. We haven't had bananas for a week, so I know the kids are probably going to want peanut butter and banana sandwiches as their after-school snack. I got a 2-pound bag of carrots. That was $1.97. Once again, I believe that's their regular price, but carrots are so versatile. I really like having carrots in the house, and they're great to add to soups. Romaine lettuce was one of their sales this week. This was $1.97 for the 3-pack. Great buy on the lettuce. So I bought 2 of them. So that's 6 heads of lettuce, which also seems a little crazy, but if you store it properly, this should last us 2 weeks, no problem. The cauliflower, a head of cauliflower was 97 cents each. So I picked up 2 that came to $1.94 for the 2 of them. And they're really nice, fresh looking heads of cauliflower. So my total spent at Gateway was $13.05. I then checked Flash Food. Actually, I checked Flash Food before I went to Gateway because I would have bought broccoli at Gateway. But this way I spent a little bit less at Gateway so that I could afford to buy a Flash Food box. So the Flash Food boxes are $5. They're actually bags. It comes in this bag over here. Sorry for all the mess. We're in transition. Stuff's headed downstairs. I'm keeping track of all my empty mason jars every day and taking them downstairs. So I got 4 heads of broccoli. Oh, so this came with the service charge, $5.29. I don't know if I said that yet. So we got 4 heads of broccoli. They're not the biggest heads, but they're decent size for sure. We got 2 bundles of radishes. These I will probably roast in the air fryer. They'll be a nice little side dish. We don't need onions. We have lots of onions, but you get what you get when it comes to a flash food box. So we got 2 onions, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Roma tomatoes. Now, the one thing with flash food is you can't pay for cash. It has to be on a credit card. So I will say my workaround for this is I use a what's it called? A loadable credit card. I use the PC Money account, which is right through the Atlantic Superstore, or any superstore, I suppose. So I load my card, and then that's what I usually use for groceries. And that is what our weekly grocery budget goes on automatically. So if you use that, you don't need a credit card to use Flash Food. It almost works more as a debit card because it's a loadable credit card. So $5.29 for this. But of course, that came off my money account. So what I have left in cash is $8.95. Now I'm going to take out $5.30 because that's how much the Flash Food box costs, and we want to stay on our budget. $25.30. So we have to carry over this week $3.60. Yeah, $3.60 carry forward to next week. Or I might. No, that's still not enough for cream. Is it? I'll have to have a look in the flyers. And if there's cream on sale, I may buy cream with that because we don't quite have enough to make it through the week. We have about 3/4 of a thing of cream. I usually go through about 1 a week. So we'll see how it is. If we run out of cream, it's no big deal. We'll just have to have black coffee. All right, so that is everything I bought this week for next week. And now let's sit down and go through everything we ate for week 2 of the 2025 Pantry Challenge. Good morning. It is January 8th. Just sat down, took the dog for a walk, had my coffee, all that great stuff. So this is my lunch today. We have some of that leftover cream of vegetable soup. Made myself a little sandwich with some deli meat, a couple slices of cheese. Now this is the pesto dip, expired January 2nd. So I'm trying to use it up. This is my last package of it. This hot soup came out so good. My husband actually had 2 bowls of it for supper last night. He took a bowl for lunch. I had 2 bowls for lunch yesterday, 1 for supper, and 1 again for lunch today. So I'm going to sit down and edit my video right now for my first week of Pantry Meals. It's funny, just a little bit I've done already. I realize how much I eat the same thing every single day. So sorry if this is so dull, but leftover soup for January 8th lunch. Here is supper for January 8th. I ended up doing a parent version, has olives and a can of mushrooms added, and a kid's version is just meat. I ended up using the rest of the cream of mushroom soup. That was probably 2 cups, and then probably 2 cups of homemade tomato sauce. So that's supper tonight, and then over here is the start of supper tomorrow. So I just grabbed out of the freezer elk and ground beef, both from my brother-in-law. This is way from when I did the ricotta cheese. So that's going to go into my hamburger buns. And then I also grabbed some of the lard we rendered when we got our side pork. That's going to go into the hamburger buns as well. And I'm thinking of doing biscuits in the near future, so that'll go just in the fridge. It's frozen right now. And since I had the lard up here, I had a cast iron that was looking a little not so pretty. So I just stuck that in the oven to heat up for a minute while I was cooking these and put a little coating of lard on that. It was just looking a little shabby. It's been around it needed a little extra seasoning. So yeah, so I am ready to roll for tomorrow. We're going to sit down and have supper. And we'll see what we get up to for lunch tomorrow. Most likely it's going to be these leftovers because this is a huge amount of food. This is the last of my pickled garlic scapes. These are all from 2023. I'm really the only person that likes these, and I don't even like them that much. So I'm going to grind them up and use them as popcorn seasoning. Normally I would throw these in the blender. However, I have my KitchenAid grinder here. I'm going to grind up some elk for some homemade burgers tonight. So I'm just going to use that instead. I'm going to go pop these in the dehydrator. I actually already put one in. Just for my own personal reference, these are about 350 grams per tray. And I do have the silicone trays. I bought these separately to make fruit leather, but I use them all the time. They're great and they wash up really easily and they don't hold a smell. All right, let's go make some popcorn seasoning. All right, it's still early in the morning. I just got back from walking the dog, but we've put our garlic in to dehydrate. That's gonna take probably the day, if not till tonight. This is a pound of ground beef. This is from my brother-in-law, from his cows. So a pound of ground beef, and then he also gave us elk. I've actually never made elk burger before, so I'm gonna mix it 50-50. That's usually what I do with deer. I'm gonna season it, and then I'm gonna make a little patty and taste it and see if I like it, see if I have to adjust. I just left the scrapings of the pickled garlic in there, the pickled garlic scapes, because yeah, it'll add some flavor. But I'm thinking of adding some soy sauce. Yeah, I'll have to taste. I'll tell you what I come up with. I'm just gonna give this a slice up so I can throw it through the KitchenAid grinder. Blade steak, so it just has the one bone in it. I gotta cut it in strips anyway to get it through the grinder. I was hoping this was still a little more frozen, but it is not. Luckily, I'm only doing one. So there's not much of bone in there. It's very bright in here. Sorry, this is like their shoulder blade. That's blade steak. Shoulder blade. All right, let's get this ground up and added to our beef. I find combining the beef and a game meat is a great way to kind of disguise some of the leanness of some of the game meat like venison or elk. And I decided to add some breadcrumbs in this as my binder, and because I already had the grinder out, I put them through the KitchenAid grinder. All right, so I ground up some breadcrumbs. I don't think I'll ever use a grinder to do that again. I'm gonna add an egg. I have this in the fridge. I've been using for a marinade now and again. It is good with beef. It's miso, lime, ginger. I'll add some of that in. Some pepper. Parsley, garlic, and some salt. All right, I'm gonna give that a mix up and make a little burger and see how it comes out. I'm having for lunch. It doesn't look that pretty, but this is the pizza pasta. I just heated up in a skillet, so that's why it's a little not so pretty looking. I added a couple extra olives. And I just did a taste test on the burgers I made, so I threw in my little leftover sample, and I put in a scoop of that feta pesto as well, just because I'm trying to use it up. All right, this is lunch today. And my oldest and my husband also took this for lunch, in their lunch today. I also made some homemade hamburger buns. This is my first attempt at hamburger buns. They could use some improvement, but I think pretty good for a first try. And since I already had the oven going, I made a batch of applesauce and oatmeal cookies. All right, Javi just took these off the smoker. These are elk and beef burgers. We got our store-bought onion rings. Booyah! We just did them in the air fryer. Diced onions, some homemade pickles, mustard, homemade dill relish. We got some cowboy candy homemade in there as well. The very last of that hummus or feta pesto dip. The very last of our fresh veggies pretty well here. Carrots and celery sticks. And then I made my own burger buns tonight. They came out okay. The recipe called for 8. I made 10 out of it. I left 4 plain, and then I put 6 in the oven and just toasted with some old cheddar. All right, that is supper tonight. This was so good and a nice new way to use up elk from our freezer. And here is my plate. All right, it is January 10th. Happy Friday, y'all. So I'm gonna get this started for my lunch now. It's about 10 to 11. I'm just gonna use up some bits and pieces out of the fridge. This is actually Swiss chard. This is why I'm starting this now. I freeze my Swiss chard, if you can see, in cups. This is from the summertime, but it is frozen solid. So I just got it on low in a pot, and I'm just gonna let that defrost. And I'm gonna add, this is a little bit of pasta I've left from Wednesday. These are our burgers from last night. I think I made 10 burgers. I can look on my picture, but I think I made 10 plus a baby burger for the dog, who you can probably hear whining in the background. So I'm just gonna chop up one of these to add. I got some cheese for on top. This is a very less feta pesto. I'm gonna use this, but I'm gonna probably dilute it a little bit with some milk or maybe hot sauce. I'm not sure yet. And throw a couple olives on top. We only buy olives a couple times a year, so I love olives, but they're not the greatest for you. Okay, so I'll show you when this comes all together. My husband and oldest took burgers for their lunch today, and we've got a whole bunch of these oatmeal applesauce cookies. I ended up freezing, I think 20, and then I cooked off 3 dozen. So this is what's left. They had them in their lunch and stuff today too as well. All right, well, so I'll show you how it all comes together. All right, there's lunch. I ended up only using about half the cheese. I added some sour cream and some hot sauce, and I did add an extra Swiss chard as well. So altogether, there's 350 grams of Swiss chard in this. All right, time to eat some lunch and then get some more stuff done around here. Okay, so I know the lighting's not the greatest here. I got the underhead cabinet light on, but this is my dehydrated garlic scapes. So just to show you on the silicone trays how nicely, as saying to my kids, if they need to do an assignment where they have to make grass, we can, that's pretty much it, eh? So this all just breaks apart, and I'm gonna grind it. I've used the spice grinder before. I've used my blender, but this is my new purchase. I just picked, well, this was my Christmas present. This is the one that was sent back because it was damaged. I didn't actually even make it to me. It got sent back by the shipping company, so it must have been real damaged. But they had all different ones, but we have a Braun, what do you call it? Spice grinder that we bought. We bought it at a flea market in 2006, and it was $8, and it is still going strong. So I decided if I was gonna get something that was a handheld mixer, Braun was the way to go. We'll see. So it came with the cup. It came with the immersion. This is not a commercial, I just, it came with the whisk. I purchased this, and it came with this part. I'm not sure, maybe that goes with the whisk. Oh yeah, it probably does. It probably goes over the bottom part, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, or probably the end of this. I'll put the whisk on the bottom. Anyway, this works great for making spices. So you can use this. You could use this in soups. It's just pickled garlic, really. I was planning on using it for popcorn seasoning, but it's making actually quite a bit more than I thought. I have that tray, and there's a tray in here. So yeah, just... So that's how much all that dehydrated garlic scapes ended up making in powder form. So this is our Friday night supper: homemade sausage rolls, canned baked beans, and some frozen corn that I bought from Gateway over the summertime. I bought corn on the cob. So the sausage rolls were something I was going to make over Christmas, but I never got around to. So just making them now for a nice Friday night supper, something a little different from the usual. Easy peasy lunch today. Just a couple over easy eggs, some toast with our freezer jam, strawberry jam, a couple pieces of salami. Nothing fancy. We are on January 11th. It is Saturday, so hubby's home, so he smoked me a chicken. Oh, this is gonna be so good. So we made some tea biscuits from our lard, from our side of pork. We got our leftover corn from last night, leftover baked beans, mashed potatoes from garden grown potatoes. We had some chicken gravy made with our drippings and some Brussels sprouts. This should be delicious and should be lots left over for tomorrow to make some soup. All right, it is Sunday, January 12th, so we are gonna do some stuff today to prep us for the coming week, setting ourselves up for success. So my younger son just came downstairs with me and grabbed some jams to make into fruit leather. So we got, these are all made with Pomona's pectin, so they're low sugar. They come out really nice. I find the full sugar jams, they don't set up. They have too much sugar in them and they just stay sticky, but these come out really nice. So we did a watermelon, cranberry sauce, strawberry rhubarb, strawberry cranberry, and sugar-free strawberry. So this is made with sugar substitute. All right, so these are my trays. A little couple flakes still on them from last time. Anyway, I'll give these a little wipe off and I'm just gonna spread out my jam. I've got 5 trays here. I'm gonna leave the top one empty and then yeah, I'll put it in the dehydrator so we can have some fruit leather for the week for school lunches. All right, this is my lunch for today. This is scrambled eggs. That was supposed to be an omelet, but I think because I used the canned mushrooms, they're just a little too wet. So I just scrambled it up. I used the very last of that salami, half a can of mushrooms, about a quarter of an onion, and 2 eggs. And I did sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top there as well. The kids had runny eggs or easy eggs and toast for their lunch. All right, so tonight for supper, we're gonna do some chicken noodle soup. I'm gonna make some egg noodles. Then we're gonna use, I just took this off the carcass, the rest of our chicken from last night. I just put the carcass in the freezer to make chicken stock at another time. This is the very last of our carrots and celery. This little bit of corn we have left over from the other night, I'm gonna throw that in. This is our gravy from last night. I'm gonna throw that in as well. An onion and a quarter there, a couple cloves of garlic. So that'll be our base for our chicken soup, and then I'll make the egg noodles to put in. And my husband is gonna have some pickled peppers on top as a garnish. Was downstairs, I grabbed a jar of chickpeas because I'm gonna make some hummus. And what else? Oh, some chocolate drop cookies and maybe some oatmeal, baked oatmeal as well. Just kind of starting off my week, and over in my dehydrator, I have the jam dehydrating into fruit leather. All right, I'll show you how some of this is gonna come together. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to make egg noodles. I just made up the dough. It's been resting for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna roll it out paper thin and cut into strips and add it to my chicken soup. This is the size noodles I went for. This came out okay. I wouldn't say it's the greatest thing ever. And this is our supper that night. We had our egg noodle, chicken noodle soup, and some leftover tea biscuits. All right, we just finished supper. Egg noodles are okay. This is what we have left for the soup. That'll probably be my lunch tomorrow and Tuesday probably. And I'll just throw some of these in here. The whole container of hummus we made up. We ate some this afternoon. Chocolate drop cookies is what we went for. Those will be put in school lunches and stuff. And then we just have a few tea biscuits left from last night. All right, I'll show you what we get up to tomorrow. Today is Monday, January 13th, and I'm having leftover soup for lunch. And just put the rest of those egg noodles in. And there's probably 1 serving left I'll probably have for my lunch tomorrow. Good evening. It is January 13th. Today night we are going to be doing salmon patties with baked beans and corn. So I'm going to be using our leftover tea biscuits there, our leftover mashed potatoes from Saturday. Yes, Saturday we had our chicken dinner. So leftover mashed potatoes, the leftover tea biscuits from last night, and then this is our home canned salmon. This is store-bought salmon, but I did can it. Some spices. We got some homemade relish there to make up a tartar sauce. And this corn was bought from Gateway back in August, mid-August. So this had 1,200 grams in it. It cost me $1.32. I think I've used about half of it. Anyway, just an idea of how to save money if you buy stuff seasonally. All right, so I'll make some patties. I'm going to get them breaded and fried up, and we'll have it with a few sides. Now, we haven't bought any fresh veggies since before New Year, so we're going with the frozen and the canned tonight. Here we have it, Monday night supper. We've got our canned baked beans. We've got some tartar sauce just made with some homemade dill relish and mayonnaise. Homemade dill pickles, some pickled peppers homemade as well, some corn, and then these are our salmon fish cakes. Should be pretty good. I would have liked to have a green vegetable as well, but we'll be making do. All right. Fish cakes came out really good. I actually preferred this over haddock. It is Tuesday morning. Just about to get the kids up to get ready for school. I'm just making their lunches. But I just thought I'd show you what the fruit leather looks like. So one of these, so I divide the sheet into about 5, and then one of these I divide into 2 further to put into their school lunches. This is the watermelon jam. I think I actually have a video on making watermelon jam. This made the best fruit leather we've ever had. It's so good. It's like candy. So yeah, I just keep it in the fridge, sort of loosely rolled up on itself. And then this is the sugar-free. This is my own fault. I left this in as long as I left the other ones in, and it just turned into, it's almost like paper. But I thought it might be a fun topping for pancakes or oatmeal or something. Anyway, so I just kept them separately. These will be for school lunches, and we'll eat these at home. So another thing to eat up for the week. Good morning. It is January 14th. We are 2 weeks into the pantry challenge. I am having the very last of that soup. I ended up adding one of those bricks of Swiss chard just to stretch it a little bit more because my husband took some of this for his lunch today. And these are 2 leftover salmon cakes. I heated them up in the air fryer and they kind of fell apart when I tried to take them out. But they'll still taste good. I just added some mustard to them. I got over here defrosting some of our home smoked bacon and some of that ground beef from my brother-in-law. And we're going to do a baked potato bar tonight. We were going to do tacos tonight. Some of my sprouts didn't come up as good as I'd like. I do have some pea sprouts that look good, but they need probably another day. So tonight we're going to do potato bar, and then I think we're going to do a taco night tomorrow night. So here we go. All right, still the 14th. I'm going to make some sort of Nutri-Grain bars. So I made up a crisp. This is what I use. This is the same recipe I used to make for apple crisp. The only thing different is I added about a tablespoon of molasses to it. And then this is some homemade jam. This is called Christmas jam. It's strawberry, cranberry, orange. So that's what we have open in the fridge right now. It's the only reason I'm using it. Just gonna take some of these, put them in each of the muffin trays. My mom bought me these silicone muffin liners for Christmas and new trays. So I sprayed them anyway, even though they say nonstick. I hate cleaning muffin trays. It's such a pain. So I'm going to put a scoop of the mixture in each of the bottoms. And then I'm just going to use this to flatten it out. That's how I do my mini cheesecakes. So same premise. I'm going to cook it for a few minutes, like 3 or 4 minutes. Add a scoop of jam and then top it with the oat mixture again. We'll see how it comes out. Okay, so these just came out. I put them in for 5 minutes. The oven actually is still preheating, so it probably was even less than that. I'm just taking my little wooden mallet. I use this for crushing garlic mostly, but also for this. And just tamping down the base now that that butter is all melted. I'm just doing this to hopefully keep them together a little better. All right, I'll do that. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of jam in each one and then top with the remaining, this is what's left of the oatmeal mixture. These came out so good. I just had one. I'm gonna show you another one just to show you how they come out, but yeah, really nice. They're cool off now. They've been out of the oven for a little bit. How am I gonna do this? Okay, let me take it out of the cup and I'll show you. So I think they could have been cooked a little bit longer. This one's kind of fallen apart a little bit. But you definitely can hold them in your hand. They come out clean. Oh, good. This is definitely a make again. All right, day 14, we're doing a baked potato bar. So we got our potatoes. These are all homegrown. We got our home pickled peppers, homemade salsa, the cowboy candy, just some jarred olives. The last of that sour cream expired quite a while ago. Don't tell the kids. Some butter. This is chive butter from our chives from the summertime. Home smoked bacon. Mozzarella cheese. This is ground beef from my brother-in-law. I just made it kind of like a little bit of taco seasoning because we're going to do tacos tomorrow night. And then fried mushrooms and onions, and those are just canned mushrooms. All right, that's what we're having tonight. This was a fun supper for a Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching this far. I know this is a little longer video than I usually make. If you'd like to see some of my other videos, I'm going to try to add an end screen here and see if you would like to watch any other videos. Here is my plate. Yes, there's 3 potatoes on there. Don't judge me. They were so good. It's like a potato pizza. Have a great day. Bye now.